Welcome to the Aging Parent Playbook, the podcast that empowers adult children of aging parents to navigate the complexities of caregiving, family dynamics, and senior care with confidence. I'm Dr. Barbara Sparacino, a triple board certified psychiatrist and coach, here to guide you through real-world strategies and expert advice to help your loved ones age with dignity while protecting your own well-being. Whether you're new to caregiving or have been at it for years, this playbook is for you. Let's dive in to today's episode. Hello and welcome back to the Aging Parent Playbook. My name is Dr. Barbara Sparacino and I'm the Aging Parent Coach. Today's topic is about caregiving and navigating caregiver stress. One of the things that I have heard a significant amount is sometimes how to help aging parents and their caregivers navigate a bit of the I don't want to. The I don't want to that is so reminiscent of children, right? But I don't want to, I refuse to. And that it can be a little bit more challenging when it's our parents and it's a full-grown adult with the force of all of that behind it. And one of the things that often comes to mind is bathing, right? And so one of the things that's very common in folks with cognitive disorders and dementia as it progresses is a unwillingness to maybe bathe, right? And this can be multifactorial. There can be a lot of things going on. And, as we age, our skin is more sensitive. Mobility is difficult. There are many things to take into consideration. The number one thing that I recommend is to really first think about what I want the outcome to be, right? What is the expected outcome? Is the hoped for expected outcome that my parent will bathe every day? Is the expected hoped for outcome that my parent will be clean every day, right? And those are not necessarily the same thing. So just like in any relationship, there is give and take, right? And many times it's about preconceived norms, preconceived situations, and it can be cultural. In some cultures, it is very important to bathe, even sometimes more than once a day, right? And in other cultures, bathing daily is not necessarily something that is required, right, or expected. And so there is some sensitivity that has to be taken into account when exploring this and discussing this. And it is also important to understand what the cost will be to forcing something that will make our aging parent uncomfortable or distressed. So again, my number one thing is what do you want the outcome to be? And sometimes it is absolutely necessary to bathe or to really have a good episode of cleaning, right? Especially if there's high risk for infection, if there is, if someone's had an accident, right? And it is, in terms of being sanitary, it is very important, right? But also, like with anyone else, establishing good routines is really important as well, right? To get someone used to maybe a different way of doing things. Now, one of the things that we speak to is when someone refuses to bathe, is asking why. Is there something else you would rather do? Is it a different way that you would rather do it, right? Mobility in a bathroom can be very limited. This is one of the things I also address is changes to homes to accommodate an aging parent can be sometimes not that intuitive, right? We all know to put the bar on the wall in the shower, right? A grip bar. One also by maybe the commode, but there are other things too that we can do, right? A tub as we age is significantly hard to get in and out of because it requires balance. It requires standing on one leg. It requires sitting sometimes. It requires getting up. So baths are not necessarily in the best interest for someone who is older, right? Um, but even before getting there is doing sponge baths, using a damp cloth, right? Making sure that the essential areas are taken care of, right? Also, sometimes using a hose with a handle on it. There are many things that we can adapt to really make bathing less distressing, right? Also asking about water temperature. Again, as we age, our skin thins out and becomes more frail, more easily injured. Also, sometimes having aromas in the bathroom may be helpful. Remember that as we age, our sense of smell diminishes as well, right? So maybe having something soothing. Sometimes even if someone likes music, playing music during that. And really knowing your parent, right? Sometimes having a running conversation with them during the bathing might be helpful, might be something that's soothing to them. Or sometimes having music, their favorite music playing in the background might be something that's distracting, and in a good way to help them, tolerate and navigate the what might be an unpleasant experience, right? Um, Also, as sometimes cognitive disorders advance, any change in position, any change in situation can be distressing because remember that one of the things about advancing cognitive disorders and dementia, right, is that there is a decrease in their ability to interpret the world. And so now the world that was once a place that they relatively trusted, maybe, right, that they relatively understood, that they could relatively interpret the information as much as well as any of us can, right, that's coming at them, right, from their senses. As we age, that information is a little less clear, right, for anyone, right? As we age, it's funny how you start turning down the volume on the car radio so you can look for a house number, right? Because you can't do two things at the same time. So it is so imagine if on top of that, you're losing some of your foundation, right? So any sudden changes, anything that is very abrupt or brusque can be very distressing and very frightening. So I think having good established habits, right? And that one thing that continues into another, the same way we establish habits with young children, right? That after dinner, we have bath time, and after bath time, we have bedtime, right? Or before, in between bath time and bedtime, we read a book, have these pre-established routines. So they develop almost a bit of a muscle memory to it, right? Um, and also not to make it a fight, not to make it something that is causes more distress, because likely they're experiencing more distress than you can imagine, right? Or that you're aware of, especially if this is something that is so distressing to them. And there are alternatives, right? There are wipes that we can use that are to bathe, right? It doesn't necessarily have to be in a shower under running water with soap, right? There are alternatives, and establishing these good communications and having good expectations for yourself of what is possible and knowing that things may decrease and deteriorate over time is also setting yourself up for success with your parent, right? Because what happens is that sometimes we can be very frustrated with them. And then we end up feeling bad about our frustration because we're not frustrated with our parent, we're frustrated with the advancing disease process and how we are responding to that. So, my goal is to help you have a better relationship with your aging parent and with yourself, and to be able to cherish the memory of your last time with your aging parent, because after they're gone, that'll be what will sustain you, is the memories of the times you shared with them and how you showed up for them. So let me help you show up in the best way possible. If you're interested in working with me, please go to my website, theagingparentcoach.com, and schedule a free consult. And I look forward to speaking with all of you again next week. Take care.
Thank you for tuning into this episode of the Aging Parent Playbook. I hope you found the information useful and empowering. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe, rate, and review wherever you listen to podcasts. And don't forget to share it with someone who could benefit from this playbook too. For more tips, resources, and details about my coaching program, The Aging Parent Plan, visit my website at theagingparentcoach.com. Until next time, remember, you don't have to navigate this journey alone. We're in this together. The content shared on the Aging Parent Playbook is for informational and educational purposes only. It is not intended to be a substitute for professional medical, legal, or financial advice. Always consult with a qualified professional regarding your specific situation. Listening to this podcast does not establish a doctor-patient relationship. Any opinions shared are my own and do not reflect those of any organization I'm affiliated with.